welcome to my Yoga Stretch Fusion class. I'm Jennifer Wagner with Collective Wellness. Today is a floor-only class, so you're going to get on the floor and stay on the floor. You are more than welcome to use a chair, or you can do this in bed if it works for you too. Make sure to exercise within your ability, and if you experience any difficulties, stop, seek a physician right away. All right, let's get started. Find that space. Get that chair if you need one, and then meet me back here. Hi, welcome back to my Yoga Stretch Fusion. Again, this is floor only, but you're welcome to use a chair, or you can do this in your bed also. We're going to start by laying down. Go ahead and turn to the side. Elbows down first, and then all the way down to the floor. Go ahead and palms open to the sky, eyes gently closed. And just kind of wiggle those hips and wiggle those shoulders. Just kind of let everything go. Deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let everything go. Leave all your stress, all your worries at the door. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly open your eyes, bring yourself into a full body stretch, extending through your toes and fingertips, reaching as far as you can. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, right knee comes in, reach up and over, and gently pull in, and then inhale, open. Exhale, switch, left knee comes in, gently pulling in. Good, and inhale, open. And switch, exhale, right. Exhale, open, or inhale, open. Exhale, left leg. Good. Now if you want to try both legs, go ahead. If you need to stay with the singles, that's fine too. And you can even keep the legs off the floor and come in, so you have the different levels. You can come back down or stay with one leg. And feet down to the floor. Feet are close together, hands down by sides. You're just going to rock side to side. So today we're going to do a lot of core, so abs and back, your obliques, and then we're also going to engage the hips and the powerhouse, the thoughts. Strengthening and stretching. Go ahead, feet off the floor, hands on your knees. You're going to circle it out and around. So we're working kind of like a warm up along with a little massage. Inhale. Exhale. Switch directions. Coming in and around, circle. And bring your knees in all the way. You can do hands over or hands under. Rock side to side. Feel that in the lower back, hips. Inhale. Exhale. Center. You're going to create a tabletop with your shins. Hands down by your sides. Pull your abdominals in and up towards your rib cage, so stabilize the core. And then 1 foot at a time is going to drop. So you're going to tap the big toe, but your back is staying towards the mat. And you go right back up into that tabletop. If you need to keep your feet on the floor and go the other direction, That's an option too, especially if you have a very weak back or have issues with your back. So you have those two options. Third option, now you can do both and up. And then you can even go further out, back to tabletop. Really engaging the core. You can stay with the alternating. You can start with your feet on the bottom versus up. 2 more times. And release. Good. Feet are flat. Toes and knees are pointed straight out. We're going to go pelvic tilt and release. Pelvic tilt and release. So if you have a glass of water, when you do a pelvic tilt, that water should tilt back and spill over onto your abdominals. There you go. Go ahead and lift those hips up into a bridge. And I want you to make sure that the knees do not split out so you have that straight line. We're not wibble wobbling. And then you have that straight line that comes down. So we're not going into the full yoga bridge. I just want you to come up and activate your lower back. Now we're going to go down and up. Keep those knees from splinting. So activate the inner thighs if you need to. Using the lower back to push. You can use your glutes also. So activate the tush as you push up. There you go. So this is step 1. Step 2 is taking one leg up off the floor and going up and down. Try to stay nice and straight, even. One more and you're going to switch legs. Good. Really feel that through the back, through the glutes. Doing good. Give me one more. All the way down, little back stretch, bring those knees in towards your chest and rock side to side. A little dynamic stretching there. Good. Inhale, exhale. Place your feet back on the floor. We're going to activate the obliques now, so your hips are going to come up off the floor, knees are straight. You're going to swing your hips like a swinging bridge. So if you see how, as I swing, my hip will go up. So my finger is going up, lifting with that hip bone as it sways side to side. So sway down and sway. There you go. Feel that twist as it activates through the obliques. Inhale. Exhale. Hips are not touching the floor, but if you need to come down in between, that's an option. But try not to if you can. Good. A few more times. And release. Good job. Okay, one more before we do some stretches. You're going to bring your shoulder blades up off the floor, chin away from your chest, and you're going to extend the hands. So we're going to kind of go into that Pilates, the 100, but we're not going to do quite 100. I want you to pump, squeeze, engage the core. So pull your abdominals in and up towards your rib cage, activating them. And as you pump, as you press down, really pull in, activating the core. Inhale, chin away from your chest, relax the neck, exhale. If you want, you can take one foot up off the floor or both feet off the floor. Make it a little bit harder. Good. Now, I am not counting, so if you're a Pilates guru and you really are about counting, don't take this into consideration. All right, down, quick stretch. Open up through the abdominals, reaching as far as you can. Inhale and exhale. Reaching as far. Inhale and exhale. You're going to turn towards me. So you're turning on your sides. You're going to start with your bottom elbow is straight forward, your shoulders right underneath, and then you can rest your head on your hands. But the elbow forward takes that pressure off that shoulder joint, that ball and socket joint. So we're going to start with the legs. Start with the clams. You're going to open and close. Feet are together, knees are bent, and just open and close. Good. One more. Now extending the top leg. Your foot is flexed to start with, so toes are pointed straight towards me. I want you to drop the toes a little bit so the heel is leading by a tiny bit. And then you're going to go straight up and down. Straight up and down. You're going to feel this through the outer thigh and into the glutes as we start changing the motion. There you go. Make sure that heel is leading. It's not the toes that are leading. Now you're going to come up, bring your leg forward. What you're going to do is as you drop the leg, I want you to turn the hip so the heel is digging down. And then when you go back up, turn the hip in so that now you're leading with the heel. So dig, turn the hip, turn back in and lead with the heel. Again. Head is rest down. Dig with that heel. Lead with the heel when you come up. So really think about it. As the hip rotates in and rotates out, you're going to lead with that heel. Couple more times. All right, coming up. Now you're going to go back. Drop the toe behind the bottom foot so the hip rotates in, and then you're going to lift parallel and then drop the toe, open the hip and lift. Good. Toes leading in the back, toe lifts. Going back behind, you can always take your hand to help kind of guide you and stay center, because your hips should be perpendicular with the floor as much as you can. Feel that burn. Whew. The lactic acid building up. One more. Come to center. We're not done yet. I want you to pulse, pulse. And then you're going to point for a few, flex for a few. Point for a few, flex for a few. Woo! Keep it up, keep it up. Woo. Last ones. And down. Good job. Bring the knee forward as far in as you can. You can kind of massage the hip. Go ahead and turn, open up, feel that stretch into that hip. Inhale. Exhale. Top leg's going to come back. We're going to get some oblique work in here before we switch sides. So your top fingers are going to go right behind your ears. I want you to try not to use the bottom arm to push. I want you to use those obliques, but you're going to lift with a crunch and then come back down. So crunch and back down. Good. Try not to use that bottom arm if you can. If you want to add an extra challenge, you're going to add the knee and down. Good. Use those obliques to crunch. If you want the extra challenge, add both knees. You can take that bottom hand out if you need a little bit more balance, especially if you're adding that second knee. But try not to push on the floor if you can. The other thing is that keeping your neck as much as you can. We're not hinging from that neck. You have your different levels. Pick what works for you. You can even extend the legs and go into the further, last, more advanced level, which makes it a little harder to talk. Let's do 2 more. Whew. And down. And reach up and over for just a little stretch. Good. Coming up, what you're going to do is you're going to push yourself up. Take your top leg, wrap it around, and then you're going to take your left arm and hook or opposite arm, depending on which side you're on. And then go ahead and just kind of rock it out. I want you to kind of feel that stretch through that hip. And just let that hip drop with each time. Inhale. Exhale. Should feel really good after what we just did for the stretches. Go ahead and let that hip drop. Chest is lifted, knee comes in as far as you can. And then you're going to take your arm, your back arm, and then reach up and over. Feel that through the obliques and through the hip. Go ahead and look up at your hand. And release. Alright, switch sides. So you're going to come around and lay down on your side. Adjust clothing. It's always on the floor. The pants move everything around. Okay, bottom elbow is forward, resting your hand. Start with your knees bent. We're going to start with the clam. So you're going to open and close. Hips are perpendicular to the floor as much as you can. There you go. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and extend the legs straight out. Foot is flexed. Drop the toes a little bit so the heel is leading. And then you're going to go up and down. Extending the leg. Make sure your leg is straight out from you. And whoop, my toes started to lead. Make sure the heel is leading, not the toes. Really feel that through the outer thigh. Good. Inhale. Exhale. A few more. Okay, now bring the leg up, forward. You're going to open up the hip as you dig the heel down. Turn the hip back in as you lead the heel up. Dig and lift. Dig and lift. So your hip is opening as you press the heel down, knee is bent, and then turn the hip back in as the heel leads. Good. Inhale. Keep that hip perpendicular for the hips. Exhale. Let's do one more. Coming up, bring the leg back. Drop the toes so it's going behind your bottom foot. And then lift back up. Drop the toes so the hip turns in as you drop. Straighten the hip and lift. Drop the toes. Straighten the foot. Your foot is flexed the whole time. It's just a matter of dropping the toe, leading with the toe, and then parallel with the floor when you go back up. You got it. You can always put your hand out in front if you need a little more stabilizing. One more. Coming up, center, pulse it. A few pulses with the point, a few pulses with the flex. Point and flex. And point. Woo. Here you go. You got it. Stay with me, stay with me. If you get a little bit mixed up, that's okay as long as you're pulsing. And down. Bring that knee all the way in. Ooh, you can massage it out a little bit. Good job. That is lactic acid building up, so we want to stretch that out. Get it dispersed. Okay, Bring that leg back. We're going to activate those obliques now. So fingertips behind your top ear, elbows up. Try not to use your head. You're going to crunch up and down. Use those obliques. Good. You can take that bottom arm straight out right away if you want. Now those hips are not there to help you. The obliques have to work. Keep that neck long if you can. Try not to pull and lead with the neck or the head. Add your knee if you'd like. Now if you know the phases and you want to go right into all the phases, whatever works for you, I'm going to take each step at a time so that you can see each one. Okay, I'm going to add both knees now. But what works for you, stay with that stage. If this is too much, that's okay. Go into the one that works for you. And some days it just might be one, sometimes two. Some days you just have to stay at the beginning. If you want, you can extend out, make it a little bit harder. Woo. Keep it going, really use those obliques to lift. Try not to push with the arm as much as you can. You're gonna do a little bit of it, and that's okay, but just try not to depend on it. Let's do two more. And release. Woo. Reach up and over. And bring your hands, you're gonna push yourself up. Take the top leg, swing it around, and then you're just gonna hook on and then rock side to side. And just let the hip drop every time you rock. Really allow that stretch to happen. You worked hard. You want to stretch those muscles back out. Inhale. Exhale. There you go. Go ahead and take that back arm, lifting up and over. You can gaze at your hand. Feel that to the hip and the obliques. And release. Good. Take your top leg. You're going to bring it back behind. And I want you to let that knee drop down, lifting your hip up and out as you feel the hip flexor stretching. This muscle is usually tight for most people because a lot of people sit on the job between vehicles or desks, and this is a muscle that tends to get pretty tight, which can cause back issues too. So really bring that knee back as much as you can, and then push the hip out. You can sit back if you'd like. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead and bring your leg around. Grab a hold of the top ankle, because now you're going to stretch your obliques from the other direction. Good. Lifting the rib cage up and over. Inhale. Exhale. There you go. Take that top arm and open up, push back. Good. Feel that down the side of the body. And release. Okay, switch legs to the other side. And then you're going to take your top leg back, so grab a hold of that ankle, and then bring it back as far as you can. And when I mean far back, I want your knee to be back as far as you can. So you really stretch through the quads and into the hip flexor. Go ahead and lift the hip up and out. And then you can sit back, go further into it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bring that leg back around. Grab a hold of the ankle, and then you're going to reach up and over with the other arm. So you're holding onto your ankle, other arm is lifting the rib cage, and then up and over. Feel that down through the obliques. It should feel really good after what we just got done with. Go ahead and push back. Open up. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Turn yourself to the side. We're going to do a hip stretch. Normally I've had you do it on laying down, but I'm going to have you sitting up a little bit. So your hands are behind. You can have fists or fingers turned out, whichever works. Take your right ankle, cross it over to your left knee, and then your right knee is just dropping down. Walk your left foot in, but then lifting your chest up, and feel that in the right hip. And then if you want, you can kind of rock it out a little bit. Really feel that stretch in the hip rotators. You can even rock side to side too, whatever works for you. And then you can go further, bringing that knee in a little more. Try to release the hip. Let the knee go if you can. That will let you stretch that hip a little bit further. Okay, walk your foot out and then switch legs. Left ankle over your right knee and then walk in. Chest is lifted and then rock it out if you like. Inhale. Exhale. Feel that through the hip rotators. You can bring it further in if you'd like. Chest is lifted further if you want to go further. And release. Good job. Go ahead and turn to the front. And stretch through the spine. So legs out in front, toes are pressed down. You're going to slide down as you tuck your chin. So you're arching through the back, toes pressed down. Reach as far as you can. Feel that through the shins and through your spine. Inhale, holding the stretch. Exhale, chin is tucked. Feel that in the back of your neck and down the spine. Inhale and exhale. Sliding back. Good. Sitting comfortably. Nice and tall. Shoulders relaxed. Rock your head side to side. Feel that through the neck and your shoulders. Make sure your torso stays center, so your sternum stays right in the middle instead of shifting side to side. Go ahead and turn your head side to side. Looking behind you. Inhale. Exhale. Turn to the front and release. Good job. Go ahead and sit comfortably, whatever works best for you. Sit nice and tall. Find your center through your tailbone. Lifting up through the spine to the top of your head, and then just let your arms relax, shoulders relax, eyes gently closed, and just let everything go. You worked hard, you deserve this time. Just release and relax. Let the sounds flow through your body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Gaze at the floor first and then bring your gaze to the front. Good. And then inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. And exhale. And namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you liked the class. If you did and you'd like to get notifications for more, just click on that little picture of me and you'll get notifications every time I post a new class, which is every week. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.